So just to finish off here now, we've worked our way around. I would probably start making some changes about these points through here. If you know some more survey information about what's happening out at the curb, you'd use the actual survey information. We don't know that at the moment, so I'm going to make some decisions. I would suspect that the footpath will fall back into the curb of the road to drain water on the footpath in that direction. So just make allowances for that direction to make sure that that sort of happens. Now, also knowing that this is dropping down a little bit lower, so at this point through here we've got the 99 metre contour, so this is the 98.75 metre contour. We've dropped 250 millimetres at that point there. So this would probably be about a 300 millimetre drop at this point to get to natural ground. Now we're back on the property, so we don't have to drop by that much actually. I'd suggest that if we're coming at 99 here, you might want to drop down by 100 millimetres or so to this point through here. So I might make that point there a little bit of a drop, but you can make your own decisions on how much you want to fall this. And then we can adjust the earthworks underneath to meet these levels. So I'm going to carry on and make some changes to these. And the other things too is that if we're making a change to that point there, then we probably would want this pit to be at least at that level, so the water would fall from the building in towards the pit, and then some of the water can go into the landscaping as well. So I'll let you make some more decisions about the heights of all those points. I'll pause the video and we'll come back together again to finish off this slab. Okay, so I've changed all my levels to these points. I just made these couple of points up through here go up to about 100 above, because you can see the 99 metre contour cuts in at that point. So these points here need to be slightly higher to match what natural ground would be at that point. So then I'll drop down a little bit lower to 50 millimetres above, which is quite different to what was going on down here. And so we're just respecting what's happening in the fall of natural ground. Okay, so when you get to that point, you can just back out of all of that by escaping, and you've made those changes to the concrete slab. I'm not too sure if you'll actually pick it up in the 3D view, but possibly you will be able to pick up that this face out the front here is faceted now, and it actually rises and falls in conjunction with those changes that you've made. These lines that have been created in the slab, we can easily get rid of them for documentation purposes by just using the under the, I think it's the modify tab these days, the line work tool, and we can pick invisible lines and start making all these faceted lines here invisible. But I'll just leave them on just for now. At site plan view, because what I need to do now is we're going to start editing the topography somewhat. So to be able to edit topography, I'd like to know what the levels I need to bring the topography up or down to suit the concrete slabs in the different locations. So to get ready for that, I'm just going to use the annotate menu, put a spot elevation in, and put some spot elevations at some of these key points, so that when we're working on the topography, it'll remind me of what elevation we actually use. Now when you put your spot elevation in, unlike what I've done, if you can put your spot elevation in but uncheck leader, is probably the tidiest way of doing it. And just put a couple of spot elevations in so that you can remember what the actual heights were used in some of these key locations were. Back up at the main part of the building, just somewhere close to the building, we'll put a 99 metre spot elevation in. And then all of the other points we'd need to remember what we actually used. So at some strategic points like I'm doing, doesn't matter if you overdo things at this stage, because we can erase these later, but just for the moment I'd like to remind us of what all of these are. I'd probably go around most of these points and create enough spot elevations everywhere. I'll just finish off mine and then show you where I've done them all to, and we'll pause the video and I'll show you what the effect of that is. Okay, so I'll just show you what spot elevations I've recorded. You can sort of see from the screen there that I've gone around all these strategic points, not necessarily absolutely everything, but just enough to give you enough heads up when you're starting to edit the topography that you know roughly where the levels of the soil need to come to. So around all these key points, particularly at the front, also these points here where we're going to have our pit drains in there, and I also just reminded myself of the level that I was dropping the slab out to at this boundary area here. So another one of the nominal 99 metre one at that point. So enough spot elevations in that location, but I've also put one in at the factory floor. So it's in there, the factory floor, so that we know what the level of that slab is, because there's some earthworks to go in front of one of the grid lines there, and also down at the basement. We need to know what the level is at that point. So get all of that done. I'll stop the video at this point, and we'll come back and then we'll start working with the topography.